Hi friends, my name is Ina Irby. Some may have known me as Ina Lopez. I don't want to debate anyone if this offends you. I will not acknowledge hate speech by my now no longer fellow brethren. This is my story. I'll be telling it in a few videos, point by point. I've been identified as one of Jehovah's Witnesses up until 11 days ago. So I've been associated with Jehovah's Witnesses all my life. I am now 49 years old, and I've never missed a memorial. I've been married to the same man for 26 years. I have 2 children, 8 and 12. For the public who are not aware of our culture within Jehovah's Witnesses, disassociation is an act of heresy. If this was Israel of old, I'd be taken outside the city gates and stoned. And the closest living relative would be the one to cast the first stone, which would be my mother. And then all Israel could participate. I want to publicly apologize both to current Jehovah's Witnesses, whom I encourage to stay in the organization and continue as Jehovah's Witnesses, and the world whom I preached to. Because what I preached were doctrines of men. They did not come from Scripture. I have chosen to disassociate myself as one of Jehovah's Witnesses for the following reasons. But before I get to them, I want you to keep something in mind. It's our knee-jerk reaction to tell ourselves that these are imperfect men, that Jehovah sees all of this and will take care of it. And I will get to that. But for now, I want you to listen to these points as if I were talking about another religion. Number 1, child sexual abuse. Many years ago, in my congregation, there was a ministerial servant who drugged and molested 13 little boys. He had them over for a sleepover. In that case, the 2-witness rule would not have applied. One of the 17-year-old boys woke up in the middle of the molest. He had already been molested. And he had seen the 29-year-old man molesting the other boys. He woke up. The reason why the families found out was because he had tried to commit suicide, and so he was explaining his memories. This man confessed to molesting all 13 little boys. There was a sister. He had been traveling to San Diego and helping her with her son. She was a single sister. She had not yet been notified. But as far as the 13 boys and their families, they were notified by the elders. They were told they should not go to the authorities because it would bring reproach on Jehovah's name. So, out of the 26 parents that were notified, only 2 went to the authorities. For many years, we as a family thought this was a single tragic incident handled wrong by the local congregation, by the local elder body. As I have come to realize, that was not the case. Those elders followed instruction from the headquarters. Today, 30 years later, they are handling these criminal matters in-house. This policy has resulted in the protection of the perpetrators, and it has re-victimized the survivors and their families, allowing all children inside and outside the organization to be victimized. For those who love truth and want to search for truth as for hid treasures, there are two things I want you to Google. These are not apostate sources. They are a matter of public record. The first is the Australian Royal Commission / Jehovah's Witnesses. I will repeat that. The Australian Royal Commission / Jehovah's Witnesses. And Jehovah's Witnesses petition the Supreme Court to keep child abuse records secret. I will repeat that. Jehovah's Witnesses petition the Supreme Court to keep child abuse records secret. This is shameful. The top brass of our organization know exactly what's going on. This is tantamount to Israel's child sacrifice. Jehovah condemned such actions. As Jehovah's Witnesses, we should have heeded the counsel at Romans 13:1-7. That is, to submit to the secular authorities and obey the law. The following videos address further reasons for my disassociation. But for now, I will leave it at that. Follow your bliss and be good humans. Hello, my name is Ina Irby, and this is my explanation of why I disassociated myself as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. This is my second video. Thank you, friends, for listening. If you've listened this far, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Disfellowshipping, not a scriptural arrangement. People who have sinned, according to the scriptures, are generally people that are hurting, and they self-condemn. They are terribly sorry for the things that they have committed, and they are conflicted as well. They may not know why they feel certain things. So, to ostracize such individuals from family and friends can really push an already hurting human being right over the edge into suicide. Again, a tragedy as a family we are familiar with. My own father did this. He had always struggled with smoking and alcoholism, and of course they bring other vices. And he had experienced disfellowshipping probably for the first 15 years of my life. So I would say he was constantly off and on, struggling with difficulties that he had, mostly alcoholism. So for a long period of my life, my dad was disfellowshipped 15 years. He got reinstated, and So it was about my 15th year of life, and for 4 years he was active brother, and then after that 4 years, after that 4-year period, we experienced as a family child molesting. And so that plummeted him into a whole another depression. He had already experienced that in his life as well. He had been a survivor. So he was devastated when he couldn't protect his own family from the monster in the congregation. I'm sorry. These are difficult words, and please bear with me. He began to self-medicate again, and he had already expressed how disfellowshipping was the hardest thing he had ever experienced. My dad and I would have quiet conversations in the car after meetings because he could not talk to the friends, and we would patiently wait for my family to come back into the car, my mother. And he would sit and beg me never to get baptized. As a family, we could not seem to comfort him. The fact that he could not get his life in line with what men felt it should be, it meant that again he would get disfellowshipped. So he took his life at 52 years old. I was there. He had shot himself in the head. I performed CPR. I felt my father's last breath. Paramedics arrived. He was dead on arrival. I was 28 years old. I had to wipe my father's blood off the bedroom floor, and I wiped the spatters off the wall. Disfellowshipping is dangerous and is not a scriptural practice. Thank you for listening. Follow your bliss and be good humans. Hi friends, my name is Ina Irby. You may know me as Ina Lopez. This is my third point. Christian neutrality. As Jehovah's Witnesses, we are supposed to stay politically neutral. Jesus said, "My people are no part of this world." However, I discovered that the Watchtower and Bible and Tract Society had a 10-year period where they were in bed, so to speak, with the organization that the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society has identified as the wild beast at Revelation. So, while my brothers and sisters around the world have been persecuted because of maintaining their Christian neutrality, this organization they are part of have been hypocritically in bed with the biggest political organization on the earth. Some of our brothers and sisters have been in the prisons for more than half their lives. This really bothers me. I found that one of the edicts that was in the United Nations, one of their edicts, is in Article 18 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right includes freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom, either alone or in community with others, and in public or private, to manifest his religion or belief in teaching, practice, worship, and observance. The freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. Freedom to change his religion or belief. That is not something Jehovah's Witnesses have. If they publicly, in any way, have different thoughts about the faithful and discreet slaves' choices, we are considered heretics. So this particular edict does not apply to us as Jehovah's Witnesses. That's very eye-opening and frightening. Well, I thank you very much for the time that you've spent with me. Follow your bliss and be good humans.